right, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. As I expected, I probably won't get a lot of views live on this, which is actually good for me because I am kind of doing this as a test stream. So, welcome back to Art by Brooke. I am going to be doing just an art journal page or two. I don't have any plan. I'm just kind of trying to take like a little bit of a chill evening, and I'm hoping that if I start doing live streams with my art journal pages, it might get me to do more of them. I've been having trouble motivating myself to do it. I have been in kind of a pain flare up lately, and that makes it really hard to create. So let's go ahead and get into my art journal. There we go. I'm just going to start it like this. Make sure you can see it. Yep. So I grabbed a couple of colors and not quite sure how I'm going to use them yet, but I always tend to really enjoy blues and greens, so I might use some of those. Um, so Phthalo blue is one of my favorite colors, and then I have this turf green Americana. And I think I'm going to use a gift card. Let's see. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and start getting paint on here because I don't know what I want to do, and that often kind of freezes me up. So let's get going on this. Just going to go ahead and put some down. Oh, I love that color so much. And right now I'm not going all the way to the edges. I actually probably will in a minute, so I don't have a piece of paper under it yet, but you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I don't want to get the paint all over the other edges. I usually have scrap paper for this, but all I have on hand right now is just a regular piece of paper. The cool thing about any paper you use underneath is that later, once it dries, you can use it in other pages if you want to rip it up or anything like that. And again, if you are just joining us, let me know if the music is too loud for you. I'll probably do a little bit of a check in a minute. It's a little hard for me to tell in person. I just kind of have it playing here by my desk. I just love this phthalo blue. Here, I'll just keep that there in case anyone wants to know what brand I'm using right now. Basics. The Basics phthalo is so pretty. Okay, and the cool thing about using the credit card is that it scrapes the paint really thin so that it dries pretty quickly, which is nice because on a live stream I don't want to use any sort of drying tool because it'll be really loud in your ears. So trying to avoid anything that would need that. Okay, so that looks really good. And I'm just going to take this up and scrape the excess on this paper. I'm just trying to get most of it off and also cover the page because again, I'll probably use this later in another art journal page or some other art project of some sort. I'm just using a gift card that is empty. You can also use an old credit card, though that might be a little tricky because you don't want anyone to accidentally get a hold of that information. But any sort of card that you're not using anymore or a scraping tool of some sort. So this is buckling a little bit because my last art journal page back here has some things glued to it. So it's kind of causing it to do that a little bit, but that's okay because it'll eventually get flattened once it's closed and dry and everything. I'm going to go ahead and move this off. Get this all together. I may or may not end up using that green that I looked at a minute ago. I just love this blue though. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so I have some drawers in front of me that have different pieces of paper, scraps, and things like that. So I'm just going to pull a few things out and see if I want to use them. So I have something like this, left over from making a Valentine's card. I collect like return envelopes, so because I like to use the inside. So I might use that. I really like that grid one. But there's all kinds of different ones that you can get. So I kind of save them from all kinds of different things. So here's one with a really neat pattern. And here's a different kind of grid, kind of like the diagonal grid. So that's something I really like doing. Saving all of those. Oh, here's a really cool one. This one's like almost floral. So that's neat. So I'll probably use some of that. And again, I didn't start this with any specific intention of what I wanted to do with the page. I just wanted this to be a very relaxed art journaling video where if anybody wants to join, they can join and watch. They can do their own thing. Feel free if you have any questions as I go, let me know. Or if I don't explain something very well, feel free to ask in the chat. This is a feather that I took off of another, I don't know if it was a card I got or something, but it's just so pretty and I've kept it. I had no idea what I would use it for, but I knew probably an art journal page. I have a few small things in this little box. I just kind of save bits and pieces of things if I think they look nice or look like something I might use. That's kind of nice with that blue, though I don't really like it with the feather, so we'll see. I just kind of pull things out and then I'll sort of test them out as I go. I don't think I like anything else in this box right now. We'll start with that. I also have this metallic paint that I might use, especially if I use this feather. This feather already has kind of a gold. This is an espresso color. That might look cool with some of this, or I might end up having to grab a gold. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, I also have some brown paper. Let's see if I can find that. This is what I used on the previous page, so I might end up using that with the feather. So this blue is mostly dry. There's some darker sections that are probably could still smudge if I mess with it. And it came through a little bit on this side, but I've basically just gotten used to that as I've gone. Just kind of reminding myself that this is supposed to be messy. It's supposed to be just my space to create. So I'm going to take a quick second to listen to the stream just to see if that music is being bothersome. I'm going to go ahead and talk so that I can hear my own voice over the music. And of course, the song ended right when I was trying to test this. But sorry for anyone who's just joining us. I'm testing the sound of the music with the video. Seems like it's okay. If anybody is listening and wants to comment, let me know if you can still hear the music. Oh, okay, cool. I'm getting feedback that we can't tell that there is music, so I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Okay, I just turned it up a little bit. It sounds pretty loud to me, so that's why it's kind of hard for me to tell if you're going to be able to hear me or not. It's kind of just a chill instrumental in the background. So, thank you for joining me, by the way. Let's start by ripping this paper up, because I don't think I want the whole thing. Perfect. And that looks okay. It's a little hard to see the feather, so that's where I may end up bringing in this. I don't know if that's going to be too much pattern. wonder if I put another color behind this. We could try that. Alright. Thank you, Scott. And let me know if you can hear the music at all now. I did turn it up a little bit. Let's just get some of this on here. Don't need a ton. And again, this is the Craft Smart Espresso. Let's see. I have... Maybe I'll just use the credit card again for this. Yeah, it's really pretty on here. I put way too much paint though, so I'm going to end up wiping some of that off. Grab this. Okay, cool. Feel free if at any point the music does get too loud, you can let me know. But thank you for joining. Basically, for anyone just joining us, I'm just doing a chill live stream, kind of testing this out. I haven't live streamed doing art journaling before, and I'm thinking it might be a good way to keep myself accountable and keep myself doing it, because while I love paint pouring, and that's something that I do a lot on my channel, art journaling really helps with just the way I feel, and it's something I really enjoy and want to share with other people, and I figured it's kind of a nice thing that I can do while chatting with people, or while other people watch and maybe do their own pages or do their own art. And so yeah, if anyone wants to join, I welcome you. Okay, so I have that down. It's kind of messy, but that's the point of my art journal for me. Everyone does theirs differently. Some people do it really nice and neat and tidy, and I like mine to be a little messier. Let's see if that shows up any better. I'm going to look at it through the camera and just see. Yeah, I think that is showing up a lot better there. So I might end up doing it like that. And I think I probably want to do a quote, so I might put this off to one side. Though with the feather curving this way, I almost like the layout of having it over here and then having the quote here. So let me try that. So this is still a little wet, not super wet, but like a little damp to the touch. So I just have to be careful where I put it down. But I am going to get some glue and add that to the back of this. I'm just using Elmer's school glue. It's just the most simple thing for me to use. That's what I usually use. You can either use wet glue or glue sticks, but feel free to use any type of glue you want. I just kind of put a thin layer on. I really don't want it to be too weighed down by the wet medium, so trying not to make it be overly generous there. And with the credit card, you can scrape the paper more flat so that it, like the glue distributes better underneath. And I'm noticing that this song is a little louder than the last one, so don't be afraid to let me know if it's too loud in your ears. Again, it's a little different to me in person than it probably is to you on live. And anyone watching, if you feel like it, obviously no pressure to join in, but if you feel like commenting in the description, what are you up to tonight? I know we're getting ready for the work week tomorrow, so hopefully everyone's able to have kind of a chill evening. That's what I'm trying to do, because I know it's going to be a busy week. So the interesting thing about going live is that I don't get to edit myself. Very often on my videos, I edit out all of my ums, or if I say the same word over and over again, or don't really know what to say, I can just edit it out. But on the live, you just get me. So there we go. Hopefully you like what you see. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you're up to tonight. If you're doing an art project or if you're just spending time with family or hanging out. I like to hear. I'm going to add this. It already has kind of a ridge of hot glue because this was previously on like a card I got from someone, I think, and it was just so pretty. I wanted to keep it and put it in my art journal. The gold kind of paint looking thing on it was printed on it on the card, so I didn't add anything to it. I didn't cut this out myself. So I just kind of collect things that I think are pretty and save them because I know one day I'll use it. And I think I've had this for at least a year, maybe two. Okay, so it looks like Scott is saying that they are having tacos and watching YouTube, which is awesome. That sounds like the best night to me. I had tacos last night. Well, not tacos, I had enchiladas last night. And pretty much always on YouTube, so that's what I like doing. But that sounds like a very nice chill night in. And thank you for joining me as part of YouTube. I appreciate that. There we go. So some of these are sticking up a little bit, so I'm going to add some underneath them. They don't have to be perfectly flat, but I don't want them to catch and rip if I'm turning pages, so I'm going to try to adjust that a little bit. Also, something about going live on YouTube is that if I'm doing an art journal page, I can't cut out the boring bits where I'm just gluing something for a while. So that's why it's kind of more of a chill stream where you can just hang out and do your own thing if you want. And feel free to join in or comment or anything like that. Also, Scott, since I have you here checking things out, could you please let me know how the quality looks on your end? Because I can't really tell from my preview. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some here. Hopefully that'll be enough. It's probably plenty. And actually, I'm going to cover the whole thing because this kind of glue dries matte, which I tend to usually like anyway, because it kind of dries invisible to everything. But if you have something shiny, it will turn parts of it matte. So because I want to just make it even, I'm going to do the whole thing. Okay, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. I will be able to look back later and kind of see the quality, but for right now, I can't really tell. And if you can't tell, I was really nervous about doing this live stream, but that's just because I haven't done it. And so I kind of made myself jump on and I said, you know, if it's horrible, at least probably there won't be that many people jumping on right now. And I can kind of practice and get over my fears that way. So anybody who is watching, I really appreciate you joining me. I got another piece of scrap paper. I have kind of a drawer where I keep all of my different scraps and just pull them out anytime I need to scrape off pieces or media or whatever. So in this case, I'm just scraping excess glue. And again, because this, oops, I kind of messed up these. Because this glue dries clear, it won't even really be that noticeable on this other than maybe some texture, which is really great. I like having extra texture in my scrap pieces that I might end up putting into my journal one day. That little piece of the feather just always wants to scrape off. Okay, so that's going to take a little while to dry because I did it kind of thicker in here, but I know it'll dry well. And again, I'm doing this kind of messy, but I'm getting a little bit of kind of the blue here because it was on my card. So that's something I always let people know. If you're going to be using the cards and you don't want to get that, you should probably have a couple different cards. Like I actually do have another one here, but I just I didn't really care that much because again, my journal, I like it to be kind of messy. So I'll let that kind of dry. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it up here. Hopefully that's still within screen. I think it is. Here. There we go. And I am going to look for a quote to use in this. This is the part I'm a little nervous about because I don't know how fast I'll find a quote, but that's okay. I have a couple of poetry books here. I love collecting poetry books because I keep them on hand for my art journal. I use a lot of quotes in my art journal. I don't always have the right words to say, but usually I can find something that fits either how I'm feeling or what I feel like the page is needing. So these are some of the ones that were calling to me today. Just in case anyone's interested, I have In the Event This Doesn't Fall Apart by Shannon Lee Berry. Love Looks Pretty on You by Lang Leaf. I think that's how you say her name. I'm not quite sure. And hopefully, if I'm saying it wrong, someone will correct me. The Truth of You by Ian S. Thomas. I have a lot of both of their books because I really like their stuff. And then Crybaby, Poems by Caitlin Seal. This one I haven't really gotten to read through very much yet, so it's kind of one of my newest ones. This one is gorgeous. It's a lot of longer pieces, and usually that's not my favorite kind of style, but this writer, I really like her work. So I think I am going to try looking in the Ian one first, because he often has kind of shorter things, and that's what I'm looking for this. So I'm just going to try to do this really quickly. Let's see. Right now we're trying to find a quote for this page. And this is kind of how my process is when I'm doing it off camera as well. But because it's alive, it's a little bit drawn out. I'm basically just kind of looking and trying to see if I see any really short ones. That's what's going to fit best in here. And if I don't find something, I can always just write some of my own words, but I often like to look for something else. And if anybody who's watching has a favorite quote or favorite lyrics or something, feel free to share it if you're interested in sharing. I am always collecting new quotes or lyrics or things like that that I can use in pages. Let's see. I am not seeing anything that's really speaking to me yet. I actually really like this one. A hospital room in winter. You think this is too much to feel, but here you are, alive and feeling this. I actually really like that. I'm going to use that. So, let me move that out of the way and bring this back over here. I think for this quote, I'm actually going to write it this way. I think that's what's going to work best. So, I think instead of trying to hold open this book, which doesn't want to be laid open, I'm going to write this on a separate piece. Actually, I might even just write it on here. Here's my pens. And anyone joining, I am working on this art journal page. Right now I'm getting ready to put a quote down. And if anybody has any favorite quotes or lyrics, feel free to share them in the chat. I can actually just write it on this. I have an extra piece of cardboard. So I'm going to just write it messy here, and then we'll make it look prettier for the art journal page. once I have it, I can kind of figure out how I want to lay it out and pick better writing utensils. I mean, I really like the Sharpie pen as well, but this is just to kind of throw it down quickly. For anyone who is just getting on, I'm writing down a kind of a quote poem by Ian S. Thomas from this book, The Truth of You, that I'm going to use on this page. So, live and feeling this. Alrighty. And then I always make sure that I write the person's name because this is not my quote. There we go. Okay, so now I can figure out which writing utensil I want to use. I might end up having to do black and then maybe outlining it in white, something like that. We'll just kind of see how it looks once I start writing it. Actually might write it in just plain Sharpie. And then if I need to outline it in white, I can. I'm writing it this way just because I just don't think that this poem / quote really works well going this way. It'll be really choppy. So I'm going to try to keep it to the 4 lines. And I'm just going. I don't have a specific plan, and if I mess up, then you all get to join me for that. So... Hey Ash, thank you for joining. I thought you might like this feather. Okay, 2. And if you just joined, the feather was actually kind of a lifted up, glued on piece on a card I got for either Christmas or birthday or something like that, and I loved it, so I just saved it because I knew I would one day use it in my art journal. So you think this is too much to feel? I'm kind of running out of space here a little bit. But here you are. Alive and feeling this. So Ash, for anyone else who's watching, Ash is someone I know in real life. Ash, if you would like me to drop a blank journal off, I can. I can probably drop one off tomorrow. Just let me know, because I know you could probably use one at this time. So that is something I can do. I have extras. Okay, that's the end of this quote. And then I need to write his name. I-A-I-N-S-T-H-O-M-A-S. Okay, Ash, I will talk with you after the stream. Okay, so I have that quote down. I don't love the balance of it right now, so I might have to think about adding some little details just to balance it out a bit better. And I may line this with white because it's just really not showing up. I didn't think it would. I thought I might have to go ahead and do that. So let me first write the date just so that I know where that's going to be as far as the balance goes. Now I actually have to see if I can remember what the date is. It is the 19th. Wow, this month has been going so fast. It already feels like the year is going fast. So we have a couple new people watching. If you are interested in sharing in the chat, I was kind of curious to see what everyone's up to tonight. Probably a lot of us work tomorrow or have busy things going on, so hopefully everyone's able to have a little bit of a relaxing evening. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I am going to grab my white pens. They're right over here. Just see if I can grab them. There we go. And then we get to play the fun game of will my white pen work? Because it seems like the white ones are just always super difficult to find a working one. Plus, I haven't really done a lot of art journaling recently, so unfortunately a lot of my tools just haven't even been used recently. Usually I have the best luck with these Sakura Jelly Roll whites. Now this one looks a little dried up, so I might have to... Let's see what size this one is. Oh yeah, that will work. That one should be good. That's probably my favorite white gel pen. If anyone watching has a favorite white pen, please let me know, because I'm always on the search for a good one. It's quite hard to find good ones. So, especially with these Jelly Roll ones and most white pens, because they just have trouble with drying out or getting kind of clumped up. When I first start it, I kind of roll it on my finger and I'm pushing kind of hard to get any of the junk off the tip. So, doing that, and then I will do a couple scribbles on this scrap piece just to see. Now, you probably can't see this at all, but I actually can see it's working really well. So hopefully that'll work nicely on this. And as I write with the white pen, I like to roll off the excess because it just kind of starts to clump up. So I think I'm going to use that. And you can probably see the glue here is still kind of wet. So I'm going to try to avoid that with my hands, so I make no promises. So this is the tedious part that I usually speed up in my videos, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go around each of these words with the white, and this will make it pop. There's a lot of ways you can do this. You can go around like I'm doing to make them like blocky, or you could do a single thin line in the middle. Just kind of depends on what you want to do. I haven't done this style in a while. Honestly, I just really haven't been doing art journaling in a while, so it's good to get back into it. With this technique though, like outlining each word, it does work well to have your letters a little further apart, so it's not ideal on mine, but it's fine because they'll just kind of clump together, but you'll still be able to see what the word says. And yeah, luckily this gel pen is actually working really well right now. It's pretty smooth, so let's see. Thanks, Ash. I appreciate it. I definitely think that doing one color and then outlining in another, especially if they're contrasting colors, can really elevate words, and you don't have to put in much effort for it. So it tends to be a handy tool for making your piece look just a little elevated. It's not very difficult, it's just a little tedious. I've seen people do this with full pages of text, and I have no idea how they have the patience for that. And Ash, thanks for the compliment. I'm glad you're hanging out with your mom and your dog, and thank you for choosing to watch here. I'm hoping to make this kind of more of a regular thing, though I did get feedback from one person on YouTube that Wednesday nights might work well for them, so I might look into doing that. I kept putting this off because doing a live stream scares me and my anxiety was kind of high. So tonight I just had some time and I said, we're gonna do it. So I had a really nice Saturday that was relaxing and just wanted a chance to kind of make my Sunday relaxing as well. Scott, I hope that your Mexican food is really good. I'm jealous. That sounds nice to have. There we go. Yeah, actually this gel pen is working really well. I just dropped something on there. Let's see. And for anybody just joining, this is the Sakura Jelly Roll. I really like them. I've tried other gel pens and Just haven't found any others that I like better. They do get clumped up, but this one hasn't been touched in months and is doing all right, so can't complain about that. All right. And because this is writing so smoothly, um, this process is going faster than I expected it to. Oh, thank you, Ash. I really appreciate it. I wasn't quite sure how it would be on the live stream because all of my little, I don't know, losing my trains of thought. And it seems like when I'm nervous, I say, let's see a lot. So I'm like, oh, I can't cut it out of the video. But at least I really enjoy watching long form content like this, where someone is just kind of working on something and I can have it maybe on in the background while I'm doing something else. That always tends to motivate me or help me relax. So I figured, you know what, if it's something I enjoy watching, I should probably just try doing it because maybe others will enjoy that as well. And maybe other people will be inspired to work on their own projects or take a little break because I feel like we're always running, we're always doing something. So it's good to slow down occasionally. After this word, I'm going to hold it up and just show you the progress because I'm sure you can't see it super well. At the beginning of the stream, before anybody else was on, I was trying to zoom my screen in and out and to try to like get a better close up on this. And the YouTube app that I'm using on my phone, which is what I'm filming with, it was just kind of like either super close or way far back, and I just couldn't get a good balance. So that was funny. Okay, so here's the close up. And I'm going to stand up and see if I can. Whoops, that might be too close. See if I can focus it. There we go. That works. I just need to do that. I need to stand up so I can see it because I have this over top of my setup. So that's the progress so far. I'm just going to keep working on it. And oh, awesome, Scott. It's really cool to hear that you're working on a drawing. That's something I need to practice more. Is I love drawings that other people do, but I don't practice a lot myself. I would say drawing is probably not my strong suit, but I want it to be. But my brain is just kind of, it throws a fit. It's like, no practicing, only being really good. And because I'm not really good, my brain is like, oh, we're not going to do it. But that's why I really like my art journal, because I've spent so many years forcing myself to accept that the art journal, the whole goal is to not be perfect. And so it kind of helps me reset my brain a little bit and remind myself that you can do art just to do art and just to enjoy the process. I need to do some self-talk that echoes what I tell everyone else. I always get on everyone else's case if they say they can't do art or they can't be creative, because I'm like, everyone can be creative. You just do things. It doesn't have to look perfect or polished. Awesome. Hi, Dee. I figured you were probably watching with Scott, too. That's awesome. So I'm just going to finish lining this. It's been a bit of a process, but it's going fairly quickly. Yeah, I'm really enjoying doing this on the live stream. My only, well, not my only fear, I have a lot of fears about it, but one of my fears was that I would sort of get sucked into it and forget to talk to anyone. But it's actually pretty easy because I've done a lot of different art and craft weekends with people, and I'm used to just chatting with people while I'm working on my art, so that's what it kind of feels like. Which is what I was hoping. I was hoping we could all just hang out. And this will keep me accountable. Keep me working on my art more often and taking time for myself. done with the quote, which is nice. And now I haven't done it as much because this pen is actually doing really well. But what I was saying before is I just need to keep rolling it against my finger so that if it gets gooped up on the sides, it doesn't clog up the pen. So I'm going to go through here and do the author himself. I really like Ian S. Thomas. I have quite a few of his books. Yeah, see, I'm getting a little sucked into it, so I don't know what else to say right now, but we're just kind of vibing. And I wasn't quite sure when I decided to do a live stream. Well, as some of you have seen from the beginning, I had no idea what I was even going to do, but not sure if I'll end up doing more than one page or not. And Ash, speaking of just vibing, are you able to hear the music? I have it on. Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. Just kind of have a chill playlist going. And I have this corner that keeps getting caught because it's taped from the backside, so I'm just going to grab some tape. Tape that down because it's getting on my nerves. I have a very fancy setup. All this scrap paper just in the background because this is my paint pouring desk as well, and I don't have any wet paint on it, but underneath is just a whole bunch of kind of like dried on paint, and I wanted like a more clear background. Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you, Ash. That's helpful to know. Scott was helping me adjust the sound earlier too. Just wanted to make sure it was sounding okay. I'm using Epidemic Sound, which is what I've been using lately for all of my videos, because I can use the royalty-free music. So they also allow you to use it for streaming, which is great because then I don't have to worry about it. And also it's really good music. This one, I believe, is the I think it was like Silent Vlog is what this playlist was. Okay, so I got the quote done. So Scott says, one thing I heard somewhere is that as a creative person, you usually have good taste, but sometimes your taste is more refined than your skill level, and that's when creativity gets hard. But if you work through it, then your skill has a chance to catch up. That is super true. And actually, I believe it's an Ira Glass quote, because I have it on the back of one of my art journals. Let me grab that, because it's a really good quote. I'll be right back. It's right over here across my room. Okay, I'm back. So, ironically, this journal also has the phthalo blue on the front, I'm pretty sure. Just a little thinner over top of gesso. But, so, this is an old journal of mine. I started it in 2014, December 2014. But here is the back with the quote on it. So, the quote here is, "Nobody tells this to people who are beginners. I wish someone told me. All of us who do creative work, we get into it because we have good taste. But there is this gap. For the first couple years, you make stuff. It's just not that good. It's trying to be good. It has potential, but it's not. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, is still killer. And your taste is why your work disappoints you. A lot of people never get past this phase. They quit. Most people I know who do interesting creative work went through years of this." And I'm inserting myself here, still go through years of this. "We know our work doesn't have this special thing that we want it to have. We all go through this, and if you are just starting out or you are still in this phase, you gotta know it's normal, and the most important thing you can do is do a lot of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week you will finish one story, or in this case, one piece of art. or one page. It is only by going through a volume of work that you will close that gap and your work will be as good as your ambitions. And I took longer to figure out how to do this than anyone I've ever met. It's going to take a while. It's normal to take a while. You've just got to fight your way through. I think that's super applicable to everything. And for me, it probably means I need to do more art journaling. I know that it helps my mental health to do that as well. And you just kind of keep practicing making things and you try not to worry too much about the end result. So let's get back to this page. I want to outline in white the date. Whoops, just hitting things all over the desk. Back to that. But yeah, thank you, Scott, for reminding me of that because I totally forgot about that quote. And I need to remember that. It's a good reminder to keep practicing because my brain just doesn't want to practice. My brain just wants to be good, even though I know that that's not realistic and that's just not the way it works. You're never going to always be good at something, even if you're really skilled. I wrote this kind of small, so it's a little bit harder to outline, or at least outline in a way that makes it look normal. But that's okay. I'll remember. There we go. Okay, so I just rolled it off and I'm going to put the cap back on. And let me stand up and show you up close. So here is the quote. And I still want to put some details on here, but you can kind of see this progress here. Okay. I think I might just do some random things, like maybe some little lines and things like that. So let's just see. This is kind of what's been on my mind to do. And I don't really have a plan, as you can see. I'm just kind of doing things. That's all right. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it adds some dimension. Maybe I'll do some white as well. I'm going to do some circles. And usually when I do something like this, I do like to cross over elements because it kind of pulls the whole page together. Whether it works super well or not, that's just one of the techniques that I use. And I try not to get too caught in my head about how good it's looking. So yeah, I think that's that page probably done. And then I think I might do one more. So if anyone is up for staying in for one more, you're welcome to stay. But I do like how that turned out. There's a couple little pieces of glue still stuck on this page, but that's okay. Okay, so maybe I'll go ahead and use the green on this side. Earlier I was talking about this green I wanted to use. So maybe I'll use that on this side because it didn't end up coming up on here. Just as a recap, on this side I used Phthalo Blue Basics on the background and Craftsmart Espresso Metallic kind of on this brown paper. And then the feather was just a piece that I had. So I'm going to go ahead. That's another phrase I use a lot. I'm going to go ahead. I am going to use this turf green. Got to get my scrap paper to put behind it. Here's another one. I just use whatever is dry and available. So, whoa, that was a lot. I'm going to use that first before I do anything else. I want to try to keep it away from the going into the holes here too much. I like spiral bound because it lays flat, but I like other ones with kind of more sewn binding because you can do more of like a page that flows into itself. Though I've done you know, echoes on here too, but like echoes of a page. But you know, there's different pros and cons to using different kinds of journals. If anyone here is watching who does art journaling, do you have a preference on spiral bound or sewn? Do you make your own? I haven't done a lot of making my own just because it's not something I have a lot of practice in, but I do really think handmade ones are beautiful. And yes, Ash, I love this green. I think probably some of my favorite colors, which if you've watched any of my paint pouring videos, you probably have picked up on. Some of my favorite colors are blue, green, and purple. And then black. I love black as either an accent or kind of the main color. And also a cool gray. I think a cool gray is often underrated. I just think it's super pretty. So the technique of using the card allows me to much quicker start working on the page because this is already almost dry to the touch. It's like a little tacky, but this dried even faster than the blue because I did it much thinner. Okay, and you can see this already has some extra green on here now that looks really cool. So I'll just keep layering this until I like it and then rip it up and use it in the page. In a page, doesn't have to be this one. All right. Now I have to figure out what to do next. I actually might glue some. I have cut out circles that I just have been saving forever. I think I made these a long time ago. So I might try to find some cool ones that I want to use. Might be neat to use some brown ones to echo the brown paper on this side. Oh, I really like this purple though. If I have enough of those, I might do those. See, you can use magazine pages. I used a paper cutter for this. I've been frustrated with paper cutters because it seems like they only last such a short time before they are dull. And I've seen people say that you can cut aluminum foil with it and then that sharpens it. I've tried that. It doesn't seem to work very well. But I'll have to keep searching because after I did this whole set of circles, it seemed like my paper cutter was kind of dull at that point. So I don't know. I don't know if that's from the same one. It doesn't really, even if it is, it doesn't really go as well. That one's really pretty. This is from a gel print that I did on my gel printing plate and cut out. Here's another one that I did like that. That's something else I might do a live stream of, just doing a bunch of gel prints, because that's really fun and relaxing and very interesting as well. Thanks, Ash. I really like the purple and the brown too, so I think that's what we're going to go with because I'm really enjoying the way that looks. Here's another gel print one. Actually, both sides. Ooh, love that. That won't work on this. Well, it would work on this page, but I'm not going to use it on this page, but that would be another good one. Another nice one here. Actually, there's a couple here. That's good to know. That would be beautiful on a page. Actually, it'd be really beautiful on a blue like that. So I might save those aside for a future page. See, I haven't gone through this set of circles in a long time, so I'm kind of getting surprised like you are. Okay, I'm not seeing more of this purple, but that's okay because I can do several of these browns with this. And now I'd like to get your opinion. Do you like it better with this kind of textured side? Let me stand up and zoom in a little bit. This textured side along with these purple, or do you like it better with the brown with the purple? Because then we have this background. I don't know. It looks kind of cool on either, so I'll get your opinion while I clean these up. Okay, Ash likes the texture. I do think the contrast is cool. Kind of gives it some interest. So now I have to decide how many. Oh, cool. Scott likes it as well. So I think we are in agreement. We're going to go with that. I usually like to, for elements, I usually like to have 3 of any given thing, or do it in groups of 3s. I just kind of like that effect. But I only have 2 of these, so maybe I'll do 3 of these as well, so that it's kind of like I could do. This is what I usually do when I'm working, is kind of lay things out and just see. I'm not really sure what I'm going for here, but I could add some more in. That's okay. That's actually kind of nice. I don't know if it's too busy, but yeah, maybe I'll go with that. So I'll start gluing those down. And my fear is always that once I lay something out, if I try to take it all off, I'm not going to remember how I had it laid down. So I might have to do this a little bit carefully. Just pull that away and do this. Thank you, everyone who's joining me. I really appreciate you hanging out. It's definitely more fun than if I was just here by myself, but I knew that was a possibility as well. It's kind of a weird time to do a live stream because everyone's probably going to bed early to get ready for work tomorrow, or, you know, if they're doing things with their family tomorrow or whatever. But it's a good, this is, for me, this is a good kind of reset for the week to go ahead and do some art and get my mind on straight. Alright, come on. There we go. This may not be exactly how I had it laid out, but we'll get close. Get close to it. Grab this again so that I can scrape the excess glue onto here. Okay, so this, move that over. There. Okay. And if we're doing these, it'll be like maybe this one next. This is getting a little iffy because I don't think I'll remember how I had it before, but it's okay. So where I live, it has been a really beautiful, kind of springy day. We had a couple really cold days recently, but I am hearing that we're supposed to get cold again. So it's kind of that tease of, ooh, here's what spring could be like, but haha, winter is back. So I'm kind of preparing myself for that this week. I'm guessing that's going to be coming up. I have to double check exactly which day it's supposed to get cold, but unfortunately, that will be coming up soon. Well, now I'm kind of trying to remember. might change my mind to do it more like this. Something like that. It's kind of looking a little heavy on the bottom. See, this is the part that gets kind of cut out in my art journal with me videos. I usually just keep in the good parts because this is a lot of back and forth that I do, trying to figure out what I like best. This is just, it keeps looking like an arrow, which is my fault for the way I set it up, but not loving it. Well, that looks okay, because it's kind of like a sunburst. Well, thank you, Ash. Ash says it's all the good stuff. Yeah, it's definitely a process, just like everything in life. I wish I had 3 of these because I do really love this, and I feel like if I had ones that were exactly like this, it'd be much nicer. Now, I don't know how I feel about this because I just think the dark contrast is nice to have. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, this is kind of nice. Yeah, I think I might try that actually. Well, maybe I'll try something more more different so it doesn't look like I'm trying to be matchy-matchy. Something dark, but maybe a different level of dark. I could even do... Does that match? Not quite. Could even do blue. Nah, not dark enough, in my opinion. Kind of similar to the background. Nope. I hope everyone has had a really nice weekend. I like the water. But this is kind of funny. That's kind of funny on the back. Not for this page, but so I don't know, maybe I want to save that. But that water does look really nice. This is the other tough part about cutting out circles from a magazine. Sometimes you get cool stuff on both sides. Like this one. This side is hair, but this side is like just a cool jean texture. So they both look nice. I actually kind of like that. We'll see what else I find. With the art journal, it's really all about feeling into it and seeing what feels right for how I'm feeling at the time. Something that I'm really interested in at one point might not have been the same choice I would have made at another point. So there's a couple of... That's really pretty. Kind of looks like a... I don't know, like a night sky maybe? And then there's also this, which... I'm not so sure. I like this dark blue. I think I'm going to go with that. Or we have this. We'll test out that too. So we have this. Move my hands out of the way so you can see it. Or this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the night sky one. I like that. Cool. Okay. I'm more happy with that now. The only problem with doing art journaling on like a Sunday night is that while I drag my feet about starting, by the time I actually do start, once I get into it, I just want to keep going. And if I'm working on it on a Sunday night, I can't keep going. I have to go to bed because I have to work in the morning. I was also really happy to do this because I was supposed to go to an art day yesterday, and unfortunately my chronic pain has just been too high, and I didn't think I'd be able to sit that long. I didn't think I'd be able to fully enjoy the experience. So I kind of made the really tough decision to let myself sleep in and rest and take the time there. And then kind of let myself go slowly. And then I thought it might be nice to still do some art this weekend anyway. It's not quite the same as going to an art weekend with other people, but I'm basically doing my own art weekend on this live with you. So I really appreciate you joining me. Yeah, and honestly, several of you on this live are people that I probably would have seen at that art weekend anyway, so kind of feels full circle. Okay, still gotta glue this one down too. Yeah, Ash, I'm sorry you had to miss it as well, but we're doing our own little one right now. That was probably too much glue, but there we go. This is another thing that art journaling has helped me with. Certain textures really bother me and don't like getting paint or glue or things like that on my hands, but over time the messy art journaling has kind of helped me work on that, and now I enjoy it because it's all part of the process. I like getting messy as part of art journaling, or paint pouring. It works for that too, and doesn't fix it for everything, but and not everybody has to have that mindset. If you want to do less messy, you totally can. I've done kind of worked with people who did art journals where they only did colored pencils or pens and markers and things like that so that they didn't have to use glue, which is totally cool as well. And that's what I'm hoping to do more with my Art for Everyone videos. I would like to do some videos where I talk about the different ways that you can art journal and still do a full art journal without having to do certain aspects of it. Like, for example, if wet glue really bothers you as far as like sensory issues, I have a lot of different alternatives. And same with paint. If paint isn't your thing, I have some other options as well. So hoping to do more of that. I kind of did a YouTube short for that, but want to expand on that a little bit more with some tutorials and walkthroughs and things like that. I have so many ideas. It's just tough when I'm still working a kind of a day job and trying to do this at the same time. But hopefully I'm coming out of this pain flare up and can go ahead and do more of that with everyone. So now I have these all glued down. I'm actually really happy with that. Let me take a break and pull it up so you can see it closer. So kind of zoom in on this. Okay. And it's still a little wet from the glue, but that's okay. I will just work around it. So I'm kind of envisioning maybe scribbling circles around each one, just to kind of add some more definition back in here. But I need to figure out which pen I want to use. I have so many pens, and I just never know which one to use at any given time. Though, of course, if I'm going to scribble on it while it's still a little bit wet, it needs to be something that won't get clogged up by the paint. I do have the Faber-Castell pens. That might be nice, but that might be too bold. I'm not sure. So So if anybody else is joining us, feel free to let me know in the chat if there's anything creative that you're working on right now, or if there's anything that you're hoping to get some, I don't know, motivation to do. I always find a gentle amount of peer pressure is helpful for me. Of course, I always joke that I'm a Taurus, so I'm stubborn. So if someone tells me what I have to do, then I'm not going to listen. But I like the kind of like gentle check-ins from friends and things like that. I'm going to move this out of the way. It's kind of cluttering up the screen a little bit. Move that out of the way. Okay. It's not super wet from the glue, so I could use something to kind of spiral around. I need to get my laptop out of sleep mode or else we're going to lose the music in a second. There. Okay. I have that adjusted. Okay, so maybe I'll start with the ones that are a little less wet. I am going to try using the Faber-Castell Pitt pen. This one's the B for, I think, brush or bold or something like that. Their labeling's a little funny with these, but this is pretty old, so we'll see if it still has enough ink in it, but I'm not quite sure exactly how I want to do this. I'm just kind of wanting to be a little messy with it. And I'm sure there's people watching who are like, no, don't mess with it. But I have to fight through that voice in my head. Yep, see, it's getting glue on it. This might not work in the long run. Because I don't want to mess up my pen. And the reason I'm okay with experimenting is because this one's kind of an old one anyway, so. Alright, we'll come back to that because that one's still drying. This one seems kind of okay. That's too wet. All right. Just trying to push past perfectionism, and that's why I a lot of times will intentionally do messy lines, because I know that if I'm trying to do nice lines, it's not going to look exactly the way I envision it, and I'm just going to be frustrated. So I try to like aim for messiness. You know what? I am going to switch from this pen. This one's having some trouble with the wet medium, and I have an India ink pen somewhere. I'm going to see if I have it here to my left. Yeah, I think it's in this one. This one's kind of a big honkin' brush pen. So we'll see if we can get that to work. Higgins India ink brush marker. I haven't used this one in a long time, so let's cross our fingers that it works. I'm gonna try. Looks a little dried out. Yeah, it might not work, but let me just try. Right now I'm just putting it in the lid and bouncing it to see if I can get any more ink to come down. It might be too dried out. That's the problem with not... Oh, there we go. I was going to say that's the problem with not doing this often enough, is that my supplies start to have trouble. Let's try it some more. It seems like maybe it's wanting to work. I think that'll work enough. I'm going to clean out this just so it doesn't get all over the place. Okay. gonna be, yeah, this might have trouble with the glue as well because it's kind of drying out, but then again, sorry if people are not wanting to fix that. So I turned this device on so that I could try to end the stream. I don't want to keep going because my device is already getting hot again. I'm going to have to go ahead and, I don't know, make some adjustments, see if I can figure out something else to use in the future. It's a little disheartening because I was hoping that this could be what I could use. So unfortunately, I'm not going to get this page finished on the stream, but oh, I'm seeing Ash is typing a message. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to finish this on stream, but maybe I can do a little short of me finishing it or something like that. Um, Thank you so much for watching. Sorry for some of the complications. This was kind of a test stream. I really appreciate all of you who hung out with me, and at least we got one full page done and got most of this page done. I don't know how much I was going to add, but thank you so much. I hope you have a great day and a great week coming up.